So, good morning, guys. Let us begin with the collection classes today. I hope my audio is clear now. Please let me know.
Yes, ma'am, it's clear.
Yeah, yeah. So I think in the last class, uh, I I think we stopped at the explanation of the collection classes. Uh, Today I'll be taking one simple example on how to create a simple array list and how do you go ahead with the creation of a simple array list, then how do you modify that to a simple linked list. Okay, all those things we will see today. Let me share the screen. Okay, so I've created an empty Java file over here, which talks about, see, I have created a file by name collection example. Uh, Say, initially, I just have a brush up of the things we had discussed in the previous class, the various collection frameworks that are available in Java. In that, I did mention about a set, I mentioned about list, I did mention about queues. Then we were left out with what is called as map. Okay. Hash map I will be taking in the next class. Today I'll be talking about very simple examples on how do we use lists, how do we use iterators, and how do we extract the maximum element from the array, minimum element from the array using generics. Okay, and these collections, they use what is called as generics in making sure there is a type safety available in the collections that we create. Okay, so accordingly, this program talks about creation of an array list, storing the data in it, and then printing them on the screen. Okay, it is as simple as that. Then I will move on to certain more examples which talk about how do I iterate through the array list, how can I make this in the ascending order, how can I make this in the descending order. All those things we will see today. Okay, I've created a skeleton for this example. io.star by default it is there. Util.star I'm using because it is util contains all the utility classes. Okay, then inside the main, let me create first very simple kind of list called as array list al. And when I'm writing array list, before I write the name of the object, I will append it with using the generics, the type of the array list that you are creating. Okay, so before I could go ahead uh, in creation of anything, if I mentioned like this in the angular brackets, this is the application of generics, guys. Okay, if I mention like this in the declaration itself, then I can be type safe. Okay, only with that intention this thing is created. Then when I want to create anything like this, you will write something like this always, okay, using the new keyword. But there is something missing. What is that? When I want to create an array list of type string, I have to mention that on the other side also. Okay, on the other side also. So this is how the array list is created. Please have a look at the way I have written the way in which generic usage along with the collection classes is done. Okay, when I talk about collection classes, there are multiple types of collection classes. Out of that, the first one that I have taken is array list, which is coming under the interface list. That interface list supports many more such listing examples which we have seen in the previous class. Okay, now what I will do, um, let me read n number of strings, store them in this array list, and as and when required I will use that. Okay, I will be doing something like this. So let me create, so I have to read so many strings. So accordingly, I have to create a scanner class object. Then once I have got the scanner class object, I need to know how many number of strings you want to have, how many number of strings you want to store in that array list. So that I will read. Okay, let me write, say n is equal to sc dot next int. Once I have read, so before this statement, let me write system dot out dot println of enter number of string inputs. Okay, then I will read the number of string inputs. According to these number of string inputs, I will go on reading each and every string and try storing them into the array list. So how can I do that? Each time I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. Okay, what is this I? I will declare it as int. Then each time, how many times I have to repeat? N number of times. So n number of times I am repeating this. What is that I am repeating? Let me write string str equal to new string, or let me write string str is equal to sc dot next. So what is this I'm doing? I'm trying to read it from the user every time. Every time I'm trying to read it from the user, store it. Read it from the user, store it. Okay. Where do I need to store it? I need to store it to the array list. Okay. al.add of str. Okay. Once I have done this, I need to print them. Okay. So what I will write? Outside the for loop, system.out.println of the contents in the array list are, then look at this, I need not use for loop again because my collection class is so much well versed. If I even call the name of that collection class, if I pass only the object of that, all the content will be displayed. Okay. So let me just go through this example again that I have typed in front of you. I have created an array list and I have type saved it. What is the meaning of type saved? Because at the declaration of the object only, I will try to mention that this array list can store only strings. Okay, this is where generics is useful. So at the declaration itself, AL can accommodate only the strings. Then I have declared a scanner class object, then n, that is number of string objects that you want to store in the array list. Then go read the total number of strings that you want to read. Then for those many number of times, you are reading every time a new string, storing that into the array list. Okay. See, we have seen in the previous class, there are functions which are useful, which are common to any of the collection class that you take. Add, add all, remove all, retain all. We have seen that in the previous class. Okay. Accordingly, in that I have used a single function that is called as add. Is this clear? The thing that I have written, is this clear? Any doubt in this? Please let me know. Yeah? I can't hear you.
No doubts, ma'am.
No doubts. Okay. Now, once I've done this, let me run this first. It's the simplest example that I have taken, guys. Okay. So let me say give 4 number of strings. I will just increase the size of this so that you can see it. Okay. Now I have entered four strings. I have entered four strings. So it is prompting me to enter four different strings. And this is the very important part that I want to discuss here. Anytime any kind of list that you show, that list will be displayed in the square brackets with a comma separated list. Okay, automatically all these things are done. And look at the thing that has happened. The first entry will go into the first position, the second entry will go into the second position. See, this is called as inserting from the rear end by default. Because it's a linked list, we talk about always any kind of data structure you take, any new element has to be added at the end. That's how normally any listing example that you take, every new element will go into the rear end. Okay, so accordingly this is a simplest example that I have discussed. Okay, accordingly you can have any kind of collection class that you take, it will work like this only. Look at this line of code. Have I used any kind of for loop? You just imagine the situation where we used to write a so lengthy procedure to print all the elements in the linked list. Okay, that is avoided. It is just because the packages that are available, the array, the interfaces, the classes that are available as part of utility packages. Okay, so due to that the things have become so convenient for the simple operations. We need not waste time in the simple operations. Okay, then let me take one more example that I have done similar to this. Okay, similar to this, just have a look at this kind of example that I have done. Here there is no mentioning of generic. There is no mentioning of type safety over here. It means what? Array list is open enough to receive any data type elements. Okay, but if you try to add any data type elements, it will accept, but it is not actually type safe. If whenever you want to save any data type, any kind of elements, if you want to save the data in such a manner that all the related kind of data are at one place, finding it will become very easy, very convenient. Only that is the reason why this kind of writing is not preferred. This kind of writing is not preferred. Though it is not preferred, I have simply mentioned you just to show that even this is allowed. But if this is allowed, many a times it may so happen that you may add something like this. Is it actually correct? Is it actually correct? This is not correct. Because it is a linked list, it is open enough. Any collection class is open enough to receive any kind of data type. But when I want to search for that element, it becomes so tedious for the user. Only for that reason, I go for what is called as generics. I hope I hope my explanation is clear for you. This kind is much preferred than the thing that I have mentioned in this example. Because here you can see, did it give any kind of error over here? It never give. Because the kind of collection classes that I'm using, they are so much convenient for me that they tell that I'm just an open box. You can throw anything into me. But when you want to search for that object that you want to get it at that moment, because it's a black box, you cannot find it so easily. Only for the searching purpose, this kind of utilization of any of the collection class is not preferred. Okay, I hope my explanation is clear. Again, I'm asking you again, please let me know. Guys, you can comment.
Yes, ma'am, it's clear.
Yeah, yeah. Now, in this example, I just want to, okay, I just want to comment this. In this example, I just want to show you also that there is one more way of declaring this array list. Just have a look at this kind of example that I have shown. And this kind of example that I have shown. Now the third way of doing this. Look at this. I have created an array list. See, when I write array list, does it mean that it is applicable only to the array list? It is applicable to any collection class that is available. Okay. Just 1 minute. Meeting is locked. Okay. Just 1 minute. So whatever the examples that I'm showing right now, they're applicable to any of the collection class that is available. It is not that only for the array list. Because this is the simplest collection class that is available, it is being taken and the same thing can be extended to any of the collection class. So you can remove this array list and make it as a simple linked list. That is also allowed. Okay. See, in this declaration, there is a generic usage. It means it is type safe. And along with that, whenever you declare similar to the arrays, you can pass the number of elements. See, this size n can be varied, unlike in case of arrays. When you give n, it indicates this is the minimum number of elements that are needed. Okay, so even this is also allowed. Similar to the arrays, you can have the initial declaration of the size of any of the collection class. But in case of arrays, if you mention it, that becomes static. In case of any of the collection class, that becomes the minimum thing that is available. Okay. It may not be the case that you can add any number of elements, as many number of elements as possible later. It allows. That is not at all a problem. Okay. Now, over here, look at this. This is the point where I want to talk about. The next 6 to 7 lines are a bit different from the previous example that we have seen. So, in this case, what I have done, apart from addition of elements, what I have done, I have simply called remove at position 4. Means whenever I add elements, they will be added at the rear end. This we have seen in the previous example. Now when I try to remove at the 4th position, always any collection class, the index of the starting element will be 0. So when I take 4, it is the 5th element that is getting removed. It is the 5th element that is getting removed. Now, when 5th element getting removed, automatically the remaining elements will be segregated in such a manner that as if that 5th element previously was there is not there. Imagine the situation in C program. Whenever you want to remove an element in between, so many complex procedures were there. Okay, imagine it was a double-ended list, double-ended list or a doubly linked list. You just have to make sure that you are convincing 4 different pointers in such a manner that they are pointing to the proper position. So all those things are taken care by Java automatically. You are not writing a single line of code for doing that. By calling remove function, that element gets removed and the other linkings will be done automatically. Okay. Now, after removing, I'll try to display it again. Then, this is how you can display one by one all the elements. I just want to mention 2 things here. First thing, I think this is very clear for you. And even this I have written in the previous example also. If you write like this, all the elements will be displayed. But now, if you want to display only few set of elements, then you can also use what is called as get. When I think this is the last function that I had mentioned in the list in the PPT that I have shown in the previous class. When I write get will extract me every time one element from any of the collection class. Okay. So in that case, what I will do is I just want to display all the elements here in this case. But now I just want to display in such a manner that I is equal to 0, I less than array list size. Now if I ask you to display only even positioned elements, how would you do this? Can anybody comment? If you want to display only even positioned elements, what you want to do the modification in this?
Ma'am,
Quickly.
in the given for loop,
Yeah.
if we just put an if else statement where we compare I with mod of 2.
Or else I will write I is equal to 0. Instead of I plus plus, can I do I equal to I plus 2? It will do that.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So if you
Yes,
want to
ma'am.
display only odd positioned elements, I equal to 1, I is equal to I plus 2 if you do. Okay. See, this is how you can extract any element at that point by using what function? Get function. If you want to display all the elements, println allows that. Okay. So very important 4 things that I have discussed in this example. First thing, you can specify the number of elements that you want to allow at a time for any of the collection class. How? By passing it as a parameter to the constructor of that collection class. Like this. Like this. In this line, I have mentioned in bracket n. N can be read from the user. Okay. Then you can add a single element at a time by using add, or you can add all the elements like I will be showing in the next coming examples. Then if you want to display all the elements, you can simply call the object name. You can simply pass the object name to the println function. If you want to remove a single element, you can write remove. If you want to remove all the elements, you can have remove all. Just in this example, I have done that. Okay. Then, if you want to extract every element or any single element from any collection class, then you have what function called as get function. Okay. Then you have one more very important function called as size, which gives you the total number of elements that are available in the array list. Can you tell me, is size, whatever when I call array list dot size here, the value that is returned by this function call, is it same as n? Is it same as n? Can you comment quickly? The value that is returned over here, can it be always same as the value n that is passed? Irana, you have commented it is no. Why? Why it is no? Can you comment on that? See, it is similar to the array. You have declared an array of size, say 100, but out of that 100, you might have stored only 5 elements. So what is the size? What is the total size of the array? It is only 5, but the number of allowed elements is 100. The number of allowed elements is 100. It may have so happened like this. You have stored initially 100 only. You have stored 100 number of elements initially as that of the size mentioned initially. But in between, there are 2 elements getting deleted by using remove function. Now, whether the size of the array list is same as the initial size that is given. Initial size remains 100 only. That will not change. But what is the actual size that is available? Right now, it will be 98. So this size usage is mainly for the current number of elements that are available in any of the collection class. So size always gives the currently available number of elements in the collection class. I hope this is clear for you. Then I have also used what is called as a remove all of C. See, in this whole example, I have created 3 different collection classes. One is C, another is C1, 3 different array lists I have created. Another is C1 and third one is array list, ARRLI. Among that, I have tried to delete all the elements of C. Okay, remove all of C. See, after removing all the elements of C, what remains? What remains? I don't have anything that is left out. Okay. See, I have written some things and I have commented them. Just for the sake, I want to show you how that works. Okay. Let me run this program for a while now. Let me comment this also 1 minute. I'm sorry. Let me comment this also. Okay, right now I have 3 array lists created, C, C1 and ARRLI. And what next I have done? I have removed all the elements. I have removed 4th position element from ARRLI. Then I have removed all the elements of C. Okay. Then I have tried to print them. Okay. So let me just type this system.out.println of C. Okay. Then let me also write, have I printed ARRLI? Yes, I have printed. So let me also print system.out.println of C1. Okay. Let me write elements of C1 are okay. So let me just run this again. Just have a look at this. Initially it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is of ARRLI. Have a look at this. ARRLI got added with 1 to 5. Okay, 1 to 5. Yes, n is equal to 5 I have written. So 5 elements are getting added in ARRLI. C gets added with 3 elements. C1 gets added with 2 elements. And ARRLI has 5 elements. So accordingly, all those elements are printed. Just have a look at this line. This line prints this line. Okay. Then remove at 4th position. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 gets removed. So after that, after removing that, I have reprinted ARRLI. So that reprinting is done here. Then after that, I have printed using get function. The same thing I have printed using get function. But look at the way it is displayed. That is very important. Look at the way it is getting displayed. 1, 2, 3, 4. Previously, it was showing in the square bracket because it was showing it as a collection class. Now, since I am getting or fetching each and every element independently and I am trying to print, the way I print, that way it will be printed. I have given just a space afterwards. Okay. And I have not used println. That's why it is coming in the single line. And there are no square brackets associated. This is how it is different from the overall printing of the array list. Then, after removing all the elements of C, I have removed all the elements of C. Does it have anything else to be printed? No. Okay. Then I have printed, sorry, initially I have printed remove all of C. What is this line doing? Sorry, this is wrong. Just 1 minute. I will comment this. Okay. Then I will remove all the elements of C. How do I remove all the elements? I will write remove C dot remove all. Sorry, I'll write just 1 minute. I'll write remove all of C. Okay. Okay, 1 minute, 1 minute. Okay. So what is this remove all doing here? Okay. Remove all or retain all always will work with reference to 2 objects. I'm sorry for that. It works with reference to 2 objects. What is that 2 objects? When I tell remove, it talks about only one object removal. When you tell that I have to remove multiple elements, which are those multiple elements? Those multiple elements have to be passed as parameter. And into where I have to remove that? That is passed with the object. So object name dot the remove all. It will do what? It will remove all the content of the C in array list. Search and delete. It is similar to search and delete. So let me just go to what is there in C. C contains 1 and 2. Okay, C contains 1 and 2. Yes, or C1 contains 1 and 2. Let me check. C1 contains 1 and 2. C contains 1, 2, 3. Okay, C contains 1, 2, 3. Now, just have a look at this modification I am doing. Okay, 1 minute. Why this error? Just 1 minute. Okay, by mistake I had printed C. Now I have printed ARRLI. Okay, let me go ahead now. So up to now, up to this line, it is clear. I hope so. So what this line does is it has removed it first takes the elements of C. Those elements are 1, 2, 3 in C. Those elements are cross-checked in ARRLI. ARRLI initially was having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I removed 5. Now my ARRLI has 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 dot remove all of C. What C contains? 1, 2, 3. So if I remove 1, 2, 3 from ARRLI, the only remaining element in ARRLI is 4. That is what is getting printed. I'm sorry, I had done a mistake by printing C. Okay, I had printed C here. That's why it was giving me 1, 2, 3 because it is showing me the content of C. But actually, I want to know after removing all the elements of ARRLI. Okay, there is a question I will answer to that. Let me complete this explanation. So accordingly, the remaining element is 4. Then next what? I will uncomment this. Okay, I'll uncomment this. Now what I will do? I will comment these lines because the task is done. Okay, I'll comment these lines and I'll uncomment this. Now what will happen? We will see. Okay, let me comment this. I don't want to use this right now. Now, accordingly, rerun this code. I will come back to your question. Please give me time. Okay. Let me rerun this. Now just have a look at this. What is getting happened? In this case, retain all of C1. C1 contains what? 1, 2. C1 contains 1, 2. Okay. Those 1, 2 only have to be retained in ARRLI. ARRLI contains 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Out of them, only 1, 2 have to be retained. Okay. That is how the things are going on. This is not C1, it is ARRLI. Yeah. After retaining C1, what remains in ARRLI? It's correct. So after retaining C1, what remains in ARRLI? Only 1, 2. Among 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4 getting removed because C1 contains only 1, 2. So 1, 2 are retained. This is how retain all and remove all are working. Okay. The last thing that I want to explain here is how can you convert any kind of collection class to an array. See, I think this is what I mentioned in the previous class. ToArray is a function which converts any collection class back to an array. But once you convert that back to an array, this object is non-editable. It means what? You cannot add more elements as we add normally in any case of collection class because the size varies. But in object, once you create an array object of that particular collection class, that object class cannot add more number of elements than that of the size that is available right now. So whatever number of elements are there, those many number of elements will be taken as the size of the array that is getting created. I hope this is clear for you. I hope this is clear for you. Okay, let me run this now. Yeah, look at this, how it is getting converted into an array. Now, object.length. Previously, I had used size. Size is unavailable in arrays. So arrays has always length. That's why size will not work here. Okay, let me try that. I will remove this and let me write like this. Look at this, it is giving me an error because size is never available as part of array. Size is a function available only in collection class. Okay, when I talk about simple array, it talks always about the length. Yes, now I will come back to the question. Uh, who has asked me the question? I cannot see that comment. Uh, can you read it, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I just wanted to ask if we can write ARRLI dot remove all of ARRLI to remove all
Okay.
the elements that exist in ARRLI.
Okay. Let us try that. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Good question asked. What's happening? Okay. Just 1 minute. Retain all I have changed. Sorry. I've changed retain all. I'm sorry for that. You have asked me remove all, correct? Let me just, okay, convert this into remove all. Yes, you can see
Yes, ma'am.
it works. Yeah. Any
Yes,
other
ma'am.
doubts? I think this is very easy. Once you understand it, it is very easy. But now I'm complicating it. Okay. Let me go to the next example. Can I go to the next example? I'll go to the next example. Okay. Very simple linked list example I have taken. I think this is most friendlier for us. Previously, we had used this kind of things in data structures. We loved to write the programs on that. Okay, the same thing I have taken in the collection class. How easily, how conveniently I can do the linked list operations in case of Java. Okay, let me just go through the 4 important operations on linked list, that is insert at the front end, delete at the front end, remove from the rear end, remove from the front end. Okay, so we will take 4 basic things that are available. So I have written a code in something like this. See, I think this code explanation is not so important for you because you have written it 100 times. The things that I have done, only that thing I will show you. This is the first thing that I have done. Linked list, I have created L1 as an object. New linked list. Now what I have changed, it was array list initially. Now I have modified that to linked list. This is what I was speaking in the previous example. Okay. Then I have given the user the choices. You want to insert at the rear end, you want to insert at the front, or remove, or display. 5 choices I have asked from the user. Those choices I have read from the user. Out of these, which you want to read. Okay. Then this choice object I have passed. Okay. If you want to insert the element, whenever you want to insert the element has to be read. Okay. That element I am reading. And look at this. Insert front, how you have written the code in data structures, how you have written the code, insert front. That is done so conveniently, so easily by this one line of code. One line of code, what is that? Add first. I don't have front here, I call it as first. Okay. Similarly, I have remove first. Then I have add last. Then I have remove last. Okay, add first of element. When I do the element that is passed to add first, that and with reference to what object you're calling, to that linked list the element gets added in the front end. Okay, then second case, add last, add the element at the end of the list. Similarly, I have remove first and remove last. All these are called with reference to the object of the linked list with which you want to act. Then I have the display. How you can display? You can display the way we have displayed over here, similar to system.out.println of array list. But now I just want to have iterator usage. This is what I told in the previous example. I want to complicate the things. Okay. If I want to utilize the iterator, which is a helping hand to me, okay, how do I use that iterator? Just have a look at, please, you have to pay attention over here. Iterator is an object. Iterator is a class. Okay, we have seen in the previous class. This iterator, even for this, I want to do the type safe. Similar to int I, we do. Int j, we do. Similar to that, I just want to create an object by name itr, which is of type integer. Of course, I have not written over here, sorry, integer. Definitely I have not written over here. Okay. This writing in iterator is not preferred. Just give attention at this point. It is giving me a syntax error because only once if you mention for the iterator on the left hand side it is more than sufficient. On the left hand side, if you mention the data type, it is more than sufficient. Okay. Even on the right hand side, this is not preferred. Then once you have created the iterator, the object of it is getting created. That object is associated with what is called as has next, what is called as has previous, and has more elements. Look at this. These three functions I have mentioned many a times in the previous class also. Iterator is associated with three very important functions. One called has next, second called has previous, third called has more elements. Okay. You imagine a situation, you want to print linked list in the reverse order. In data structures, you have written a function for that. It was so tedious for you to write. But now, when I use has next, has previous, it does it so nicely. Or you can make this iterator ascending iterator or the descending iterator. Once you have created that iterator with reference to the linked list that you are creating, with reference to that, if you call what is called as descending iterator function, then what it does, it reverses the linked list. It reverses the linked list. Then I can use the has next function only. In the next example, I'll be showing you how I can use has previous. But for now, you just concentrate on these 4 lines of code. This talks about creation of an iterator object, and this iterator object makes me so convenient to navigate between the elements of the linked list in such a manner that I can go or jump to the next element so frequently. How do we used to do in the in the data structures? How do we used to do? If I want to jump from one element to another element, we used to give that first arrow link or the current arrow link until current arrow link not equal to null. Okay. Now the same thing is getting done like this. Iterator dot has next until it is not null, it navigates. Then how do I extract every time that element? It has a next element, then extract that next element. It has a next element, then extract that next element. Something like this, it works. So iterator helps me in navigating through the collection class. This is the advantage of iterator class. Any doubt at this point until now? Don't bother about this part. Any doubt at this point? No, okay. So I will run this program because I am left with only 2 minutes in the class. I'll run this program for you. I will write insert first. Let me take 10 as the element. Let me insert first again. Let me write 5 as the element. Let me insert at the rear end, say 20. Let me insert at the rear end 30. Okay. Then let me display the content. Okay. I will just go up. You can see The elements inserted are 5, 10, 20, and 30. In the reverse order, you don't bother about this. I will explain it in the next class. Okay. Then, if I want to remove now, I just want to remove first. So what will be deleted? 5 will be deleted. Then I want to display it again. The elements remaining are 10, 20, and 30. Okay. Then I want to remove from the rear end. I want to display it. Okay. 10 and 20 are the remaining elements. 30 got removed. So this is how the things are so convenient when I compare this with the data structure way of writing, that is C program. When I used to write, it was so much complicated for me to continue writing the programs for this. Java is supported with so good packages that with a single line of code, it can perform the same thing that I used to do in complicated manner. Okay. I hope this is clear for you. Okay. Thank you all.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ma'am, there is a doubt for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Madam, will you take class 2 in the tomorrow afternoon? Because yesterday, Yasoda madam was saying
Huh?
she will keep group discussion. I told ki